Right, welcome back, guys, for another Age of Empires 3 series for you today. My name is Harrison, and I am back. This is part of the EPL number 2, week 5, between the Mandarin Duck Squad, and that will be fought by from Pérez versus the New World Challengers, which is what King Ernst II is representing. We have a Japan versus Indian matchup for game number 1, with Pérez spawning into the southwest of the map as the Japanese in the green colour. King Onage spawning to the northeast, playing as the Indians in the blue. And we do see both the Indian explorers just waiting around this 80 wood treasure, looking to get the stun on both these elephants. Elephants, pardon me, the elephants are the monks. It's the grizzly bears they're attacking. The bears are nice and close together, so splash damage from the Indian explorer will damage both these bears at the same time. So a very efficient way to deal with these two high HP units from the Indian side. And looks like King Ernst II picking up a nice 80 wood on the floor straight away. What a great start for King Ernst, that is. King Ernst also picking up a 50 coin. With King Ernst already having 50 coin in the bank, that means it was not a coin crate start. And looking around, Consulate coming down as well as a shrine. It looks like it was a wood crate start for Pérez. And did Pérez himself find some wood? He did not. So I'm a bit confused how he managed to afford this. I think he went for the shrine nice and early instead of waiting for the Portuguese consulate. He is going for the Portuguese consulate now. So slight deviation than normal Japan play, but it's really minor. I don't think it would have too much of a long-term effect here. The map looks relatively balanced, both players having two nearby hunts, pronghorn and a big bison. Enough coin mines either side for both players. And King Ernst II is going for an early trading post, being funded by the 80 wood treasure and by the Indians having a very good early wood economy due to their villagers having the second tier market tech already researched for them. So their villagers cost wood, but they also chop wood faster than other civs, so it's not too bad for them. Kami has come in as Heavenly Kami has come in as first card here for the Japanese player. That shrine was in way before the consulate was down and Heavenly Kami, and also this shrine is on the starting for bisons. You could try and play a Sugar Shrine on the deer hunt to the left or the bisons to the right, but it's quite far at the base. You could drop the Sugar Shrine here and get the bisons. It's a bit luck dependent here. Maybe that early shrine though could suggest some early, more aggressive play like the Torii Gate age up from the Japanese player. We'll have to see though, but 110 food, regardless of what age up he's going to go up with, will certainly help his position. And it will be the Toshoga Shrine, and he's decided to go for the Toshoga Shrine on the pronghorns to the west side of the base, but this shrine is really far from the town centre. I need to exaggerate how far this wonder is from the town centre. This town centre will not be able to cover any units sieging this building, and trying to then keep this safe with a wall. You get a wall here, wall across, the coin mine, coin to the consulate down to the south. It's going to be a big wall for Pérez to try and keep his town safe against whatever India wants to do. Slightly mid-map aggro, keeping a watchful eye over the trading route, but also keeping his second and third hunt under relatively safe control. Aging up though with 3 villagers on the aggro fort. Okay, maybe 2 on the aggro fort. Where's this extra villager going though? Looks to be going on the ones there, so going for a slightly more aggressive age up. Usually we see Indian players just drop 1 villager on the aggro fort, sometimes 2 if they want to be up pretty fast, but King Onage going for 3. Probably the reason why he's put 3 on the wonder here, he did go for the early trading post, and that would have slowed his age up time down, and so he's wanted to compensate that age up time with sacrificing a bit of economy behind this for increased age up time. So I understand why King Ernst has put 3 villagers on the wonder, and it could even put 4 on, which is a standard amount of villagers you age up with if you was playing China, for example. Alright, Japan player in the second age. I would assume that Pérez in this situation will go for 600 wood first, but he's dropping down shrines quite readily. Does have lots of villagers on wood gathering. Could even be a 4-vil here. We'll have to see what's first from Pérez. The fact that he's going quite a lot of defensive walls here in that circle kind of style, which I highlighted earlier, does suggest a more economic / greedy play from Pérez. There's no point here shipping 5 Ashigaros if you have to then make a gate in the wall or try and send these units around down to the south side. So I'm expecting Pérez to try and play somewhat economical, and 600 wood comes in. Wood available for the shrines, as well as the market and barracks in base. So market techs, barracks, and a few extra shrines. The 600 wood is so versatile for any civ, but Japan makes great use out of that shipment as well. Two cows being picked up by King Onage. Very, very nice. These cows providing the Indian player some residue experience, along with this train post as well. I'm expecting King Onage to be flooded with experience points, and maybe a shipment ahead after 10 minutes or so. So really good momentum here from King Onage. Does send 5 sepoys first, and going 5 sepoys first after going TP in age 1. I'm not too sure if it feels like this is a little bit of a slow time in pushing in with 12 sepoys at 6 minutes 20 seconds. This wall from Pérez is forcing these units to go all the way around. But now that he's seen the Tashoga Shrine, he may think, hang on a minute, look at this. This is nice. I'm going to stop here and siege this down, and that's exactly what he does. And Pérez had a few units in the town centre going, oh, I'm going to scare him away with town centre fire, but he's just realised, oh, hang on a minute. No, I can't. He's so far away. Even producing an inner layer of wall to keep these Yumi archers safe, but these Yumi archers cannot reach these sepoys, and this feels like a great defense idea in Pérez's mind, but in terms of execution, it's just gone a little wayward here, having to push out of his Yumi archers. Elephants coming in to scale his Yumi archers back. Sepoys momentarily backing off, but going back onto the Sugar Shrine. Only 2,000 HP remaining, and this is big if this goes down. Pérez has 170 shrine pop behind this, and heavily cami, so a lot is riding on these shrines, and if he loses a big wonder, then that's a bitter pill to swallow. Even dropping this gate momentarily before the Tashoga Shrine goes down, so that's a 50 wood down the toilet you won't get back. A couple of shrines gates here and there, and these Yumis are having to run for it, but now it's just sepoys and sours in the base, and pure Yumi archers feels risky here. It feels like Pérez is taking a leaf out of King of Osman's book in stellar Japan base defense, but is starting to unwind here, and King Onage taking down the Tashoga Shrine, adding a bit of the Japan eco, has sensibly decided to back off and not overcommit his troops in Japan player's base, is currently up about 15 score points, has the momentum, even sending foreign login as well, and after all that's been said and done, Indian player looking to be alright. Japan player not as great as he would be if he had that Tashoga Shrine up, but, you know, not completely out of it. But it feels like the Indian player now can go onto the shrines, and the Japan player is thinking, right, do I push out with my Yumi archers? I got nothing to do with those sours. And King Onage could even go for 300 exports, sends the Ottoman Hussars to deal with the Yumi archers. 600 coin, though, does suggest an age up to the third age is imminent from the Indian player, and I'd be expecting the Charmanar Gate age up to provide the Indian player a Mahout on age up, which, you know, that Mahout is exactly what will deal with this archer-based composition of the Japanese player. And then King Onage behind this can then send 2 or 3 Mahouts, and in this brief low period of downtime, let us check what cards King Onage has in the third age. Yurumi Sepoy, 1,000 wood. Not often that you see 1,000 wood from an Indian player's deck. Usually you'd see 1,000 coin instead. This indicates that King Onage has not got a fast industrial strategy planned. 2 Howders, 2 Siege Elephants, 3 Mahouts. So having the 2 Howders instead of the 2 Mahouts, as well as the 3 Mahout card. Double Elephant cards here, and Gurkhas finishing up. British East India Company is here, but no Royal Green Jackets. A card which can be very good to dealing with a Ashigaru heavy composition of the Japanese player. So, options for King Onage, but looks like he's liking his elephant play here. Wonder being built with 8 villagers. Does he have a consulate up here? I don't think he does, and yeah, at some point a consulate would be nice. The British consulate buffing your military HP as well as providing options to train redcoats and send redcoats on intervention. Yeah, talking about intervention, King Onage does not have intervention, so we're not going to see any Ottoman 5 Hussar shenanigans here this game from the Indian player. But Pérez, though, aged up himself. You know, he lost a bit of eco, but not too much, and had enough from his shrines and villagers from the 4 vil shipment and the 600 coin shipment to get the age up behind. Let's see what Pérez is packing behind him. And he has 7 vils, 1,000 coin. Possible fast industrial jump here, but he's still got 10 vils and coin. I think he's going to stay in the 3rd age, considering he's been up. Well, both players age up basically the same time, actually. Standard rack of cards here for Pérez, choosing to have intervention over refrigeration for the Japanese player. There really hasn't been much action for the last 2 minutes. Both players have now sat back in base. The Indian player's happy with taking down the Toshogo Shrine. Pérez is happy with still getting away with 200 shrine pop of shrines behind us, and there's a lot of shrines in this little small vicinity of an area. Lots of bisons being kept under control by his shrines as well. So this could be a very tactical place for King Onage to push in with maybe siege elephants. I wouldn't expect siege elephants first here. An early Yurumi card here could be strong. Also, the 3 Mahout card, but King Onage had the 3 Mahouts, not the 2. So we have to see the first card. 2 Siege Ellie's first card here. Also stacking food available for a shipment like Yurumi or Mahouts. We'll have to see what he's got planned in mind. The siege elephants are nice. You have the Mahouts to scare away the archers. But now Bestiaire is aged 3, disciplines Yumi, and surprisingly now a large mass of Ashigarus which have magically appeared out of nowhere. Even sending 9 Yumis. The siege elephants, great for shrine control. They really don't offer much though with army control, and maybe anticipating a flame and arrow shipment. Who knows? 3 Mahouts here would have probably been the nicer choice. Yurumi could be also nice, but the Sepoy combination here, very strong. Now with 600 exports to King Onage's the second's name, I do feel that now would be a great time to go for a consulate, and he's throwing down that consulate now in between his Agra and town centre. The placement doesn't really matter, but the fact that he's actually remembered the consulate is probably a bit more of a big deal. Market techs, great techs from the Indian player, all techs researched, including Flume Ditching and Imperial Bureaucracy. And the same can be said for Pérez. No wood upgrades just yet, but the shrines will be kept on wood for that wood income. Both players not yet getting the Eastern Medicine, but we've seen the very limited action so far this game. No villager has gone down, I believe. Maybe one from the Japanese player. Let's check. And no villagers lost from either side. I feel that King Onage could be in a slightly better position if he managed to squeeze in that consulate earlier and went to the Ottoman allies and sent 4 vils. So he's just had 600 export just sat in his base, in his bank for quite a while, and there's a lot of options that export can provide. Now pushing in that with that 3 Mahout card I was talking about. 3 Mahouts. These siege allies are just pushing forward just to tank, and I think they've all gone down already. That's a bit of a throw from King Onage in terms of those units. Those elephants are very nice in terms of taking shrines. If you're going to lose them, just lose them due to shrines, but pushing them forward just to tank damage. But there's so many Ashis, Yumis, Ashigarus, even having paper cartridge already, sending 8 Ashigaru and 9 Yumis to stabilize. Cherry's coming out afterwards, but that's where the Ashigaru mass came from, was the 8 Ashi shipments. And wow, Mansamdar Sepoy coming out, but great, you got buffed Sepoys, but you've already lost 4 Mahout elephants, and that is really hard to replace. It's not a cheap units, and that was your power spike. That was the player was pushing with the 4 Mahoots and break Japan player, but actually the Japan player broke you and picking off a Vil here, picking off 2 Vils, 3, a couple of Yumi's out, but not enough to scare the disciplines. Yumi archers here, these guys are very strong, happily sat here. Does have the speed tech on though for faster movement speed, and that's very nice for kind of kiting and trying to push in onto King Urge's army, getting some good trades. When a fight does happen though, I'm fully expecting ranged infantry attack to be turned on, further buffing these Yumi and Ashigarus. Five Sepoy trained, Minutemen batch being called from the Trans Center, double Minuteman batch, Colonel Gurkhas and Yumi are also present in the army, but Pérez is aware of this. He's just kiting back with the Yumis, picking off 2 Yurumi swordsmen for free. This is just so smart play from Pérez. He just picking off units here and there, doesn't need to overcommit. The Indian army is reliant on getting up and close and personal with your own army, so their short-range Sepoy can do maximum damage. Yurumi can snare and cut apart your army, but Pérez, Ashi's separate group to his Yumi archer mass, just poking away, picking off a few units here and there, sieging down the aggro, taking the initiative, and also, I did see 5 Nagis earlier, but disciplined Nagi and Nagi HP. Japan is just in such a strong position. The fact that they had all those shrines intact. Okay, you lost a big shrine, but that bought you time to age up and follow the Indian player. You're just now taking great trades. Yumi is just falling over so quickly. Now it's Yumi, Ashi, Nagi versus Sepoy and Gurkha, and the Sepoys they can do with maybe one of these unit types. They can't deal with all 3 at the same time. Nagi's snaring, Ashi's closing up, and Yumi's closing up behind, getting some good trades. 80 population down to 20. I'm expecting the resonation here from King Urge II very soon, and in it comes, and King Onage taps out. Game number 1, going for Pérez, and get on board the Mandarin Duck Squad hype train. This has been a great day so far for MDS, and this is only game 1. I have to say this is only game 1. Ooh, possible lag spike my end, but I should be back now. Let us check. But game number 1 for Mandarin Duck Squad going... game number 1 between Pérez and King Urge going to the Mandarin Duck Squad, and yeah, that's a very good result there. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone and see what else I can source out my side. Let me turn off the Twitch chat on my side, turn off that. Turn off that. Well, I mean, I should be back to normal. Currently streaming at 4,500, 5,000 kilobytes per second, so I'm not dropping any frames now, so that was a momentary spike at the end of that game. Apologies for that. Apologies if it does cut out, but it's okay. We'll come back again for game number 2. Let me have the chat up on my phone instead on internet. On phone internet. So. Great trades. Yumi's been over so quickly. Now it's that game though, King Onage TP age 1 with that AC wood treasure, but having to put 3 or 4 Vils on the aggro fort to get a respectable age up time behind this, and then eventually pushing out with 5 Sepoy first card onto the Shishoga Shrine, which was placed very wide at the base. Easy pickings from the Indian player, but after that went down, he did not choose to press his advantage there. He had a few sours out, and that 4 sour shipment accomplished absolutely nothing. Pérez sending 4 Vil, 600 coin, a couple of wars and Yumi archers to scare away the army. Able to age up behind afterwards. Market being dropped down on that 600 wood, good market techs. And Pérez's eco with 200 shrine popping. Look at all these shrines here from the Japan player. Prepare the Japan player to have such a great economy and a very strong follow-up. And King Onage felt that he was in the lead. 2 Siege Ellies versus Siege the Shrines, but actually got caught out by the army. 3 Mahouts with the Charminar Gate Mahout as well, getting cleaned up. And after losing that 3 Mahout shipment for basically for free, there really wasn't much way back for King Urge II at this point. Let's look at the military population now. Wow, look at that fight from King Urge. That was dire. Losing all his units there to the Yumi, Ashi, and the Mahouts went straight onto the heavy infantry, but the heavy infantry just crushed these guys. Mahouts specialists versus archers, however, not the greatest versus musketeer-style units and heavy infantry in general. What a great fight for Japan, and that was where the game was won and lost. All resources gathered. Japan player leads in the way. Did quite this early game was that extra 600 coin shipment, but actually as the game progressed, the 2 lines diverged and Japan eco was much stronger. So really well played by Pérez. Good shrine count there. I have to say, I guess good base defense, but King Urge never really pushed it in the early Second Age, and it felt pretty standard from Pérez afterwards, actually. Right, let us hop out. Kaiser Klein, welcome.
Yeah, hey. Well, thanks. Wait, I need to. Sorry, I had the video at the same time. Yeah, how you doing?
It could be better. I'm currently 4.5 bottles down at the moment, but hey, cheers to that.
Well, I mean, doesn't feel bad, does it?
No. It feels great. Like it feels. what I'm trying to say is, I'm having to really think about what I'm trying to say. Cause I'm like, let the casting come to me. I'm struggling. I'm like, hang on a minute. I'm usually full of ideas, but it's feeling slightly different. So it looks like the reinforcements have arrived in the form of the best player on the scene at the moment in Kaiser Klein, and I've casted with Kaiser plenty of times before. Kaiser brings the high-level analysis, which we all love, and also just an all-round top guy at the same time. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you co-casting as well. And I hear you're back at your own place, looking to do some more casting, as well as streaming your own channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at my parents' place for the lockdown, and their internet is not exactly the greatest, and so I couldn't really. I could stream, but sometimes it would just lag, and obviously I don't want to make the tournament games lag. So, but now I'm here to stream some more. Yeah. So it's pretty good. Sadly, it's kind of the end of the EPL already, so a little bit of an unfortunate timing, but I'm going to be able to cast some in the playoffs, so should be nice.
Well, maybe we'll have to hear the Kaiser Klein cast in his own game's point of view. That would be an interesting experience to watch. CMCs have all but qualified for the final week. I'm sure Kaiser Klein is taking this time to prepare for potential matchup versus the Mandarin Duck squad, all the New World Challengers. But at this point, I don't know who's going to go there. It's pointing towards the Mandarin Duck squad. Like, they are winning this week quite heavily so far, but there's still about halfway through the games being played. It could turn around.
How did the game 1 go?
Pérez won after King Onage slightly delayed age up. 5 Sepoys first, took down the Sugar Shrine, but no other economic disruption. Pérez, 200 Shrine Pop, aging up with 600 wood, 4 vil, 600 coin. And then unit shipments and just crushed afterwards.
Like, MDS needs only 3 more games now to qualify, I think.
Nah, it's not that close, is it already? Really?
Yeah. They needed Oh, your voice is kind of cutting.
Yeah, I see that.
I don't know.
That's briefly cut out there, but we're in the lobby, so let's see if it comes back.
Yeah, I think they need just 3 more games now. They needed 4 games before this series, so only 3, and they are guaranteed to be qualified to the playoffs. So yeah.
It's really annoying. It always happens when I'm in the lobby. Sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down the quality. So I should be back normal. We're still having our conversation here. Let's see if I can turn down the output a little bit from 5,000 to maybe 4,000, 4,500, not 45,000. That'd be crazy. But yeah, no, the game 1 got through in the end. We should be fine to carry on.
Yeah, right. So apparently Ownage is speaking first, and he's locking Germany, which is an interesting pick on Daka. I don't see Germany being all that good here. I mean, it's kind of like Germany has nothing special really to control the TP line or to control the middle pawn. There's no real reason to beat Germany here. I feel like also the the short rush distance is kind of not that good for Germany. Germany likes a larger map where they can just raid. It's actually really hard to raid on this map because obviously you can't go raid through the middle choke because you're gonna get spotted instantly. So you kind of have to send your cav around to just try to raid from the back, and it's not all that good for Germany, I think. But we'll have to see what King Onich can do.
It also feels awkward with that middle pond control that Germans in the Third Age like to be aggressive, like to be sending 8 Skirm, 9 Ulan, war wagons, maybe Jaegers. Having to take a bit of a brief pause from that and having to send maybe a frigate to try and contest the middle pond is quite challenging. They only have one naval shipment like that in the Third Age, where other civs like the Portuguese have 3 caravels, Ottoman have 3 galleys, the Dutch have 3 floits. Like it feels like trying to actually win control in the middle is hard, especially because you don't age up with a tower or a town centre.
Yeah, right. And also you don't have a 2 Falconet shipment, and Falconets can help you to control the pond, obviously. Falconets do great against caravels, for example. So let's say even your opponent is staying H2 and he's got 2 caravels, it could be enough to really be annoying for Germany as they don't have a Falconet shipment against that. Or even if you have a frigate against a frigate and one guy has 2 Falconets, obviously he's going to win the water fight. So yeah, it's an interesting pick. Then again, Aztecs, traditionally kind of a good matchup for Germany. Not sure on this patch, but it's definitely not too bad for Germany. Could have been like Otto on this map, or something like Spain could be very tough for Germany to deal with. But I think Aztecs, all in all, should be okay for Germany to deal with.
Back in the days when Aztec aged up with 1 war hut from the Shannon politician, or they built their own war huts with the messenger, the Germans had an opportunity to break that apart with 8 Expo shipment pikes, Minutemen, 3 Doppel shipments, and other units. But first of all, though, only 2 back hunts available for Pérez. King Urge has a normal map spawn. Let us inform the players.
Yeah, he's kind of missing a hunt on his half, I guess.
Oh, he's missing 2 actually. It's not even close.
Yeah, I need to. It was recording, so I couldn't check. One. Yeah, I guess he doesn't have that, which is kind of a big problem.
I don't be the first person to resign, but yeah, no, resign. Come on, Pérez. Yes, there you go.
All right.
There should be another 2 deer hunts down to the south and west side for Pérez. King Orange had 4 sets of these musk deer hunts, as well as the in-base deer and elephants. So map spawn issue there. That's okay. We'll crack into the next game very soon afterwards.
Yeah, right. Yeah, definitely that next hunt not spawning is a big problem. Arguably the other one is not too bad if you have like 3 against 4 hunts on your half, but not having a second hunt basically or a third hunt can be a big problem here, especially against a civ like Aztecs, which are probably going to be aggressive. But then again, one nice thing for Germany on this map is that you have 2 coin mines in your base, so that's nice.
Well, it's quite a high resource map. Lots of hunts to sustain yourself, and when you play in Germany, you don't need too much. You don't need so much hunts to sustain yourself. So 3 elephants, 3,000 food, as well as all that starting deers, easily enough starting hunt to get you to the Third Age, and also well into the Third Age. So your villagers will be very tightly compact. You don't have much walking time. The German players should get a very good economy out if they're doing normal German things, but they're playing against Aztec, and I feel for the Aztec player can just do 2 war huts and just put the pressure on, and it'd be very tough for German to get to the Third Age unchallenged, unhurt, really.
Yeah, the 2 war huts can definitely help you control the pond as well. So Yeah, but at the same time, regardless, like if you're gonna go for 2 war huts, you're gonna be slower. You're gonna have a stronger timing at some point, but you're not gonna be able to rush like you would if you went for a fast stage. And that may be enough for Germany to just kind of beat Germany, and just get a big mass going without too much pressure early on. And well, we'll have to see. I want to see this matchup and this patch. Obviously, Germany being nerfed, Aztecs being buffed, but still used to be a pretty good matchup for Germany. So I'm interested in looking at that. Germany starting with an early TP is definitely very nice for him, though.
Yeah,
Although he's on the wrong side, which is an unfortunate thing on this map. As you can see here, he's missing the XP, and he's gonna have to wait for another full pass until he gets it. While if you build your TP here, you get the XP if you're a bit faster. So that's been unfortunate for Germany. He's
yeah.
gonna age a bit late for sure.
King Urge did stop off for a 40 wood treasure on the way up to that north training post, so
Oh, that's nice.
a
Yeah.
little bit late for himself here, but in this case it wouldn't matter. Would have missed the pass though if he spawned on the right side and did the same explorer stuff in the first stage. So he would have missed that, and that would have been also tragic. Deciding to go for the safe TP here, prioritizing basically the distance away from the Aztec player base instead of the earlier XP income. And when Aztec player ages up with the 2 Warhut politician, as well as sending in shipments like 700 wood and then possibly 6 pumas, 6 coyotes, as well as 10 maces somewhere in between that mix. The German player, very tough to defend. If he built the TP there, it'd be very tough to defend it, but TP so far back is so awkward for the Aztec player to go for it.
Also, I checked the XP curve, and he basically had his shipment already when he would have got the XP here. So it would not help him get his 2 settler vacants any earlier. Maybe 2 or 3 seconds earlier, which is not very relevant. And like you say, yeah, the TP would be much more exposed. So I really like that he went for the one on the top left. So now we have to see basically if Pérez is gonna go for a fast age or 2 Wahad age up. People seem to like the 2 Wahad age up better nowadays, but fast age is definitely an option. And Pérez is eating a yak, so he's gonna age with only 15 vills. Wait, what? No, 14 vills. So that's pretty fast.
Yeah, 14 vills because it's the warrior priest gives you the 1 minute population. I've always thought it's 15, but yeah, it's the standard age up time here for the Aztec player, as in they want.
No, standard is 16. I mean,
okay.
It's one more basically. You should be up at 335. He's gonna up at like 315 or something. So he's gonna be quite fast. I mean, 315 if you fast age, obviously, not if you slow age.
Well, he's already well on the way up 40% at the moment with the shaman. But yeah, the Aztec players really want to be up as fast as possible, or clicking up as fast as possible, because they have that extra XP from the warrior dancing on their fire pit as well. So eating a few yaks in the first stage, also picked up a juicy 100 food treasure as well, really helping him to go to age up with 15 population, 14 villager population, so slightly earlier than that 15 Vil pop as other players may choose to do so. And that earlier extra timing should ensure the safe construction of his 2 war huts from the shaman politician, and then be in good position to send the 700 wood and start getting units out afterwards.
Yeah, and the thing is that if you fast age and you age earlier like that, you don't get the wood for your war hut in transition. I don't think you can chop 250 wood. I mean, my point is that you're not really gonna be much faster if you fast age, because you're gonna be up real fast, but then you will not have the resources to do much. But if you slow age with 2 war huts and you're up 30 seconds earlier, like now, because you have 3 war huts, you're gonna be able to pump units out basically 25 seconds earlier or 20 seconds earlier, which is nice for sure. So 2 warheads going forward in the choke, and
it hasn't been walled up yet from the German player, and maybe Kino's just thinking about doing it, and it hasn't got around to it. But he needs to wall it at some point, because otherwise you're going to have Aztec units flooding into your main base fairly soon afterwards. Is King O's going to do a mini molt and send 2 caravels first? I highly doubt it. Looks like he's going to go for the 3 settler wagon first shipment due to his population. A quick look at King O's deck. Does have the 2 caravels, but once these war huts are constructed, those 2 caravels feel slightly awkward to send in either the middle pond or the southern sea.
I wouldn't take that risk for sure. I've done it against Maito because he aged kind of late and he was hero, so he's got one war hut and you can snare the war hut. But now he's got two war huts, so like you kind of know your two characters will not get them down. So yeah, I hope he's not going for that. Looking at his pop space, it does look like he's got 3 settler wagons on the way, which is pretty standard. Opening with barracks though, which is not that standard. It's an option, but maybe stable opening is more standard in this matchup.
Yeah, but if you open it with barracks, you usually open it with either pike or crossbows. Maybe pike just to protect from any possible early coyotes, but crossbows afterwards to help out. But no, he's opened with double southerners. 3 in queue at the moment, resources for a 4th, lots of villagers on coin. Pérez has gone 5 vills and going for the TP control behind this, and actually, it feels like this might actually work out in German players' favour. Lots of siege potential from those 4 double southerners can get back out on that TP line, which the Aztec player is controlling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's better. For sure, now he can take 1 TP down or try to. But then again, if he had Ulans, he could just idle Aztecs maybe. Although Aztec is waiting for the raids with some Pumas, so probably not. So yeah, the double play is probably gonna pay off. Stagecoach being researched by Aztecs. Oh, he did not finish building that trading post. That is massive. And he got pushed away by the 2 Ulans now. So basically, right now it's 2 TPs for Aztecs to 1, and 1 TP will go down, maybe. So that's not looking good for Aztecs, and his mace is now gonna get. Well, Puma's gonna join the fight, but yeah, looking pretty good for Germany so far.
Well, there's only 2 Pumas, and there's 8 bows here, picking these Pumas off very fast, and those 2 Ulans are still standing. We'll pick off at least another 2 Mace Sultans here. 2 Ulans from that first 3 settler wagon shipment coming in from the other side. These Maces are getting picked off one by one. Puma's coming back in to reinforce, but this has gone as well for the German player as he could have imagined, and another reinforcing batch of Doppelsonders. But I suppose reinforcing batch of Mace Sultans actually is enough to deal with what German's player got.
Germany is about to throw his entire army here. He can't push into war huts like that. That is a massive mistake by King Onich. He was just good, you know, to take the TP down and then get a few free kills on the maces, but now he's wasted his entire doppel mass.
It's so painful to see as well, and Pérez still has his 6 Coyote Runners shipments to send afterwards, so 2 doppels remaining, Minutemen out, a couple of crossbows, but Pérez still has the ability to send more mobile units like the 9 Mace Sultans as well as the 6 Coyotes to clean up behind this, and Pérez looking to be in a pretty comfortable position, still has that 2 TPs on the floor. That third hasn't been built yet, but he never lost that first one as well, so it's not looking too bad.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sad, really, that he didn't build a TP. He would be in such a good position if he had. Now, though, overextending a little bit, maybe. That's a lot of dops. But Aztec gonna be to kind of escape. He's lost some units there, but nothing too bad. I still think this is in the German favor now, because that TP will surely go down. He's repairing it, but dops have so much siege anyway. So if Germany adds just a few more crossbows, maybe a stable for some Ulans and a good unit composition, it might be hard for Aztecs to really defend the TP and to really do much. We'll have to see. Maybe 1 settler wagon gonna go down though.
Yeah, this is a big Coyote switch here from the Aztec player, and so many Coyotes here blocking the settler wagon going back into the town centre. So 1 settler wagon going down very, very quickly. Lots of the villagers exposed on the left-hand side though. 5 Ulans coming out straight away on top of the Coyote mass though, getting picked off. But that pulls the rest of the German army back, and I feel that Pérez needs to think about if he actually wants to commit to this or not. Mace's focusing on the Doppelsonders, Pumas hold them steady, Coyotes backing away from the Ulans and the Doppels, but it looks like Pérez is backing off here.
Yeah, I mean, he should, totally. I think 3 doves would have been way better than 5 Ulans here, but regardless, yeah, it's okay for Germany. Meanwhile, he's killed 2 vills. The TP did go up. He was able to build it with 2 vills, but you know, you have all that walking time to go on top with your vills, and then he's just lost them to 2 Ulans, unfortunately, because obviously Germany has line of sight from the stagecoach, so he knew that TP was not built, and so it was pretty smart by King Onich to send 2 Ulans up there and be like, yeah, okay, who knows, maybe I'm gonna kill his explorer or some vills up there. And he did kill 2 vills, so pretty good pickup. Gonna raid a bit more with 2 Ulans now. Coyote is coming back to defend though. So all in all, this is looking pretty good for Germany, isn't it? I mean, he's got more vills. He's got the same amount of trading posts. He didn't have to pay for stagecoach. He probably can age now with 700 gold. So
Well, he also has both market techs or triple market techs, steel traps, and placer mines. So these villagers are just so much stronger than what the Aztec player has, and the Aztec player even has less villager population. With equal trading posts and the initial push from Pérez sending the military shipments 10 mace, 6 puma, 5 coyotes, and 9 mace, you'd feel that Pérez wanting to invest those military to kind of get some permanent economic damage / economic advantage, but hasn't managed to achieve that and just trading off units versus Doppelsonders, and King Aaron just looking to be in a fine position behind this and has the coin to age up, could fully transition to food now.
And he's buying so much time with his 2 Orlands raid as well. I mean, this is like just he's gonna escape. He's been buying so much time. Like the entire Aztec army has been running around these Orlands, and I think Pérez is realizing now that I need to stop doing that. I need to push and do something. But in fact, Germany, even though he shipped 700 gold, is actually not trying to age. If you look at his resources, he's building another house, just training more units. And as much as I think it's not the right decision, I think Germany should age. But then again, Aztecs is pushing right at this time. So if Germany just gets a big pop of Dobbs and Uhlans, look at this. 5 Dobbs popping. So maybe it's actually going to be pretty good for Germany. He's got so many Dobbs, and maybe kind of a poor unit position though. This might go well for Aztecs actually.
Yeah, 5 Uhlans from top side. There's enough Pumas and Coyotes here to fend off. Lots of crossbows behind us though, picking off the Pumas, and it depends if the Pumas go down before the Uhlans, and I think they do in this case. Aztec Explorer though, tanking lots of damage. Couple of Uhlans still surviving behind this. Reinforcing Coyotes though. This is very even trade between both players, and we have to go back for the German eco advantage, and after this trade surely Germany can reinforce with some more units.
Yeah, that last batch of Coyotes saved most of Aztec's bases, but it surely was still a pretty good trade for Germany. And look at this. How many vills died to these 2 Uhlans? Wait.
Oh my god! Wow, I knew he had the advantage. I looked at it; looked like 3 or 4, but 7 or 8. And top tip, guys: if you want to cast, don't drink Chronos at the same time. You're missing things left, right, and center. And apologies for that. What a great raid from King Urgent. That highlights the point you continuously shout about in Twitch chats. Raid when you are fighting. If you're pinning the army down of your opponent, he's focused in trying to micro and trying to win that fight, but Ulan's going from behind, and when all your military units out in the field fighting, there's none home to defend from the raids, and another raid coming in behind this. We'll get another 2 villagers as well. No spirit medicine coming in for the Aztec villagers. Looks like we'll just lose that 1 vill, but also just idling the fire pit briefly, and slowly edging into the German players' favour now.
And also, I think these vills that were trying to eat the axe, and just so much damage being done constantly with a couple Uhlans, and I think it's literally what is winning Aztecs the game. Germany the game at this point, because he got decent fights, but you don't really want to beat Germany in H2 against Aztecs in H2, right? At some point, it just starts to suck for Germany to be stuck in colonial. So one would think that Germany would end up losing eventually, but just because he's been raiding so much, he's actually quite far ahead, and now gonna try to break the Warhats. He's got a couple of Dobbs coming forward, gonna smartly also keep sieging that TP down with a couple of Dobbs on top. 1 Warhat is down. Too many Uhlans really, unless nice pop. Is it enough though?
Well, he was hoping to get the Uhlans while they're sieging, but now that the building's gone, these Uhlans are now focused on the Coyotes. Again, trading off cavalry units with cavalry units. This has been a good fight for King Urge. Double cav upgrades as well. Cavalry attack and HP. These Uhlans are much stronger than they would be, and the Resign has come in behind this. So King Urge does pick up the first game. Well, pick up the second game, pick up his first win in the series, and that ties the series level off at 1-1 apiece.
Yeah, that was a pretty well-played game. I mean, the game plan by King Onage was questionable, maybe. I don't think you should be able to win like that in H2, but he made it work, basically. He made it work by just pressuring the TPs constantly, raiding constantly, taking good enough trades to just not lose the game, basically. And pretty well played by King Onage, I think. And Unfortunate that TP did not go up for so long. I don't know if the game would have been different if Pérez had one more TP for a few minutes. Might have been enough to just get these extra units in and swing the fight in his favor, you know? So that TP was definitely unfortunate, but pretty well played by King Onage here, I think.
Yes, that TP wasn't constructed for a while. Conversely, though, the TP that Pérez did take from King Onage's side and was never taken down by the German player for also quite a while. So the Aztec player was in it for a while, but it's just a doppelstanders and Uhlans later on. I felt that Pérez, it felt pretty fine for him. Maybe 5 villagers first, or okay, the second card in Age 2. What do you think of that 5-vill shipment then?
Yeah, I feel like maybe 600 wood could have been nice because you have 2 war huts basically, and going for 5 vills means you're not really using your war huts. So I don't know. I don't know if he could have used the 600 wood in a different way, or maybe he needed a unit shipment to just defend his trading post. I don't know. I just feel like maybe going for stagecoach is not the right plan for Aztecs. On this map, it's pretty hard to control the whole TP line because you know that German TP we mentioned on the top left never got challenged, and I don't know. Maybe you can try to go stagecoach, but maybe not if Germany has an early TP. Because if Germany doesn't have an early TP, then maybe you can take that TP yourself on the top left, and then Germany is forced to take another TP more exposed. But if he has an early TP like that, it feels pretty hard to contest. To control the TP line. Maybe not the best strategy by Pérez here.
And even King Onage II, he chose to send cavalry attack there towards the end, which did pay off. You know, a lot of these Uhlans out in the field, getting the good trade versus the Coyote runners. Could have maybe sent the 2 caravels instead, and the caravels would have dealt with the trading posts, could have helped siege down the war hut and deal with the fight as well down to the south while tanking damage from the war hut. There are 2 doppels at the top side continuously sieging the train post, so you could have pulled those dops in for extra units in the fight and had caravels to kind of help your fight there and then move off to take down the train posts afterwards. So the caravel shipment from King Onage was in his deck, could have been used as well, but yeah, it felt that King Onage had the lead at that point, and after the war hut actually goes down, that single war hut going down and only having 1 more remaining, Pérez didn't have the way to build a war hut back in base, and just then wouldn't be able to have the time to pump out even more units. Even if he had the res, he just couldn't get the time to pump out units behind this and push out. So King Onage, though, showing that German colonial is not to be underrated, and solid play from King Onage. You know, losing the first game, Mandarin Duck Squad currently on fire, but coming back in a strong showing on game number 2.
Yeah, German colonial is not all that good usually, but to be fair, this is one of the matchups where Germany in H2 is actually okay compared to a civ with musketeers. Essentially, like if you're playing against France, at some point you're in trouble against the mass of musketeers they can get. You don't really have any strong unit to challenge them, but Aztecs, you know, they don't have that. So definitely an option. Like basically, Pérez has picked Ottomans, and King Onage has counterpicked with France, which is definitely a strong pick on this map. And we do have a food and wood start, and which means that France is straight away able to get the trading post here. He could have gone for 12-10 actually, just not shop for a house and eat some goats. I've done it against Ottomans before, and it feels very strong. But he did shop for the house, and he just needs to build it now. Yeah.
Well, he's put the foundation down, but he's shift clicked away from it, and unfortunately, this house is not being built just yet. The villagers are being made behind this. He does have the shipment of 3 cities going behind us, but looks like King Onage will be housed very briefly, and it's not often you see players being housed in the top level games, and 3 cities out, 1 villager nearly about to spawn. It's going to be close, but I think King Onage has just averted a bit of an embarrassment in Age 1 and should be carrying on just as normal.
Yeah. Fortunately for France, he didn't idle because of that house, so he's okay. He did have a little bit of a sloppy herding. You can see some vills being quite far away. Gonna have to eat some sheep now. Oh no, what is... He's actually killing 3 sheep.
Yeah, he's eating 3 sheep, 1 vill on each sheep here, and it's... Well, I guess it's helping, but it feels like you could even just leave them for the fortress age up and get a better benefit from that, as well as just having 2 to 3 on each goat I mean, delete the goats, but then have 2 to 3 gathering each should be even better. You can see that all those goats already run out, and okay, yes, King Age has now got the age up behind us for a 13-vil age up, and I suppose the 13-vil age up versus a possible aggressive Ottoman is something that you need to always consider. Pérez aging up behind us now. What's he aging up with? He's aged up with the governor age up, so that's the coin and the tower. Not currently gathering coin in Beso at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen why. He's a nice bit of macro there. 80 coin treasure. Pérez is entirely on the food behind this and should get a very, very fast age up behind this.
Yeah, and this is exactly where I would love to see a 12-10 for France. I've done that before. You can, because, you know, he ate some ship to try and age without too much idle time with 13 vils. But he could have done exactly the same in an age with only 12 CDBs. Idle 10 seconds, just like he's idle 10 seconds here. And then you can be up to fortress at literally 6 minutes 20, which is ridiculously fast. So you're up to fortress 40 seconds before Ottomans if you go for a 12-10 FF. Just like 4 CDBs, 700 gold, you chop for that house after you started aging, get these market upgrades in, be up 40 seconds before Ottomans. You've got a shipment on the field while Ottoman just has 4 hussars and maybe 5 Jans. So I think this is a great counter to the Ottoman FF, but not going for that, which I can't blame him for it because it's not very standard. He probably doesn't know about that build. But we'll see what France does then. He just spotted the tower, I believe, with his Explorer now, so he knows it's going to be a tower FF. So he can direct.
Explorer has a large line of sight, and he hasn't chose to follow the tower, but I guess you just kind of sense where it is. Pérez trying to be smart, though, placing the tower in a non-standard place away from that central portion of the map to try and keep King Age guessing what's happening. But King Age is in the base. He will see the 700 coin with his native scout. He will see no in-base racks or markets or whatsoever. He can sense that that's the first card, 700 coin. It's going to be a fast fortress behind this, and in a sense, you don't really need to know where that tower is. You just know that it's coming.
Yeah, if you scout one house, that's like the most underrated way to scout Ottomans. People don't really care about that. But if you see one house, you know it's an FF, right? Like, it's that simple, really. Just one house and no more houses, so he can't be making units. I would have liked, I mean, if you're going to drop the tower on a side like this, which is an option, I would have liked it maybe here so that he could pressure the trading post and maybe get stagecoach at some point in Fortress with 1k wood or something. But yeah, he's going on the right side, sending 2 vils to build that barracks. People love to tower FF nowadays. I really don't think it's the right way to play against France, honestly, but we'll have to see what he can do. King Arnage is going for the EFF I mentioned, just not with 12 CDBs, but with one more. He's still going to be up very fast. So, you know, he's going to be up at the same time as Otto's because Otto is aging slow, obviously. So I think that's a right play from King Arnage here.
King Arnage still eating goats with 1 vil per goat. Does get the age up in time behind this, but he's basically used all his goats he's gathered up on the map for crisp age up times, but no real economic mass behind this where he can fund lots and lots of units. And it feels like King Arnage will be very hard pressed to get out consistent 5 Dragoon batches. And he's aging up. He hasn't sent a wood shipment, and he's not sending the wood shipment at this point. So he's just going to be trying without a wood shipment, which I believe is the correct decision here, but doesn't have the infrastructure for a stable in a barracks or double stable, couple of extra houses. It's just basically playing with what he's got right now, and Pérez will soon be up. 5 Jans trains, no Janissaries shipped by Pérez, so not going for the 5 Janissary pivot card, which you've seen come into fashion lately, but should be sending, well, I would assume 8 Janissaries first card and going for Vet Jans. Pérez does have the resources for that tech, and I'm sure it'll be researched after the next batch of Janissaries have been trained.
2 CDBs really far out of position, going down instantly. So yeah, he didn't go for the all-in FF, but now he's just done maybe not enough damage. Like, you can't win as Otto if you kill only 2 CDBs and do nothing more, but it's a very good start for Ottoman. I mean, killing 2 CDBs is very, very good for him, obviously. And so much idle time as well. So I guess he's gonna go. France is gonna go for 8 skirms first, probably. Two
Ooh,
falconets.
falconet.
That's interesting. I guess that's an option as well. Ottoman going for the vet Jans instantly, so he's not gonna have that many Jans, but they will be upgraded. Oh, good volley there. Oh, the Hustlers coming in. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I mean, Minutemen could maybe save these falconets, but it's gonna be very dicey for France. Why do you go 2 falcons first without any? That is very painful to watch.
Also, Jan's in stagger mode, so may only lose one Janissary to a Falconet. Can pick off the Minutemen if they want to, but they can also back off at this point. More Dragoons being trained here, but Dragoons, they do all right versus Janissaries, but cost efficiently, Janissaries will be very happy to take that trade. And now Falconets behind this with another batch of Janissaries. It feels like these Falconets are adequately defended by Pérez's infantry mass, and it's going to be tough for King Urge to basically push us back and defend this.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for France. I mean, now he has no way to easily kill the 2 falconets, and that is just so good for Ottomans. Ottomans love to rely on their falconet pressure, but usually France has 2 falconets themselves to kill the Ottoman falcons, and now there isn't. So it's kind of gonna be a right click here, but has to be careful because there could still be a CDB pop just killing these falconets if he comes too close. So we expect to see maybe 8 skirms next, and if he can get the falconets down, France is okay, but it's gonna be tough.
Skirms appeared, Dragoons one side, more Dragoons down to the southern side, who's hoping to get a good Dragoon flank here, actually committing with Dragoons in hand combat to actually try and get the damage down. One Falcon is still alive, getting an extra skirmisher volley, will soon go down, will soon get picked off by a town centre fire.
Yeah.
But a couple Dragoons paying with their lives for that. Actually, I felt that was all right there by the French player. It could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that shows how France is able to beat the tower FF, even after losing 2 CDBs, wasting his falconets, taking overall not great trade. France is still in an okay spot. He's definitely behind, and 5 House might seal the deal now. But I think we can imagine that if France defended that better, 8 skirms first card, just hit and run, and then he would have just won. But now he's also going to lose some more CDBs on that coin mine here. That is not what he wants. Pull them back, please.
Yeah, another 3 going down, the 4th about to go down, the 5th going down there. It was just a very delayed reaction there. 6th going down. So in total, King Urge has now lost 9 CDB behind this, and he remembered to get great coats after the 2nd CDB going down, but forgot to pull them back into the town centre, and that was possibly his downfall here. He could survive this military aggression, but the follow-up afterwards will feel rather weak.
Yeah, it feels bad to have less eco than Otters for sure. 5 less views is yeah, you don't come back from this. I think it's gonna be extremely tough for France. And also, you know, when they started the fight here, he had his goons out of position. Like the positioning was just terrible for France here, and it's gonna be very tough now. I don't want to say it's over because it's still Ottomans. They will not scale very well from here. But honestly, if Ottos just ship 1k wood now and adds 2 TCs, what is France doing then? I mean, he can't push out, so he can't punish the town centers at this point.
Well, the Ottoman explorers now hightailing it out of the French base. Possibly went down earlier on, but now being revived. These Dragoons are still focusing and micromanaging down his Janissaries, but in the bigger picture, Pérez is just doing what Ottomans do best, send some wood, get these town centers going, free villager production. He doesn't even realize the 1,000 wood was sent, but even realizes that he's not in a great position to follow up after all his villas going down, and the GG was called there. Pérez leads in this series 2-1, Mandarin Duck Squad's edging ahead.
Yeah, that was not convincing play by King Onic here, honestly. I mean, mechanically, I think he played pretty well previous game. Maybe a couple mistakes in terms of micro and stuff on that Dakar game, but you know, he raided well. He just played well previous game, but now that was not on point compared to. I know King Onic can do better than that. He just lost vills and lost his folks and lost his army, and everything kind of went wrong here for France. And yeah, a quick win for Pérez here. You can't fuck up against Otto, really. You have to be on top of your game, and he was not. So
Ladies and
Unfortunate.
gentlemen, top-level analysis from Kaiser Klein. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Also,
still, I want to.
village account, if you looked at the village account graph, but also didn't really train any villagers once he hit the third age because he was under so much pressure
Yeah.
from the Otto FF. And if you're not making villagers, then make sure you win the military. But that wasn't really convincingly won either.
Yeah. But you do see he's still aged at 6 minutes 50 because of that 13 CDB's age up and eating the goats. Still a very convincing build by France, really. I think this build should do great, but you have to execute it well. Unfortunately, he kind of choked there. But yeah, that makes it 2-1 for Pérez from the. Is he from the MDS team? Yeah, he is.
Mandarin Duck Squad, and who are each game progressing even more. It just feels like the Mandarin Duck Squad are slowly edging their way to booking their tickets to the playoffs versus you guys. And thinking of what the Mandarin Duck Squad have to offer, it looks like it may be another showdown between Kaiser Klein and Maito, and I'm looking forward to that. Have you started preparing already?
Absolutely not. But I'm just playing games, I'm not really preparing anything. But I'm playing, so But yeah, I think Maito will be pretty happy to get his rematch. Surely not satisfied by his performance against me, so I think, and Maito is probably the scariest opponent for me in the whole thing. So
Well, yeah, he's currently ranked Major General, so that's certainly a high rank. Not as high as you currently being Lieutenant General, and then very briefly General rank as well. You still are General rank now. You must have been on a bit of a winning streak since I've last seen you in the ESO lobby. So we bow down to the General in the actual lobby here, Mr. Kaiser Klein. But I have heard rumours that the SKGs are fielding a field marshal up in the next one of their games coming up tomorrow. Jack Gaming, the field marshal, making his debut versus Riot Coke.
Yeah, surely gonna be a challenge for Riot Coke to win that one. He's gonna prove his worth now.
Whatever happens in that series, I think it should be a fun series. So certainly not the highest level gameplay, but it should be fun series and strats. And I've heard that Riot has been looking into the intricacies of what Age of Empires 3 has to offer, and maybe showcasing a few interesting side strategies instead of playing very standard and trying to make the most out of this opportunity. And fair play for Jack Gaming to try and step into the ESO community limelight. He's got his opportunity on the main stage, and we wish him well for his games as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be fun. All right, so let me think. There's the Civ reset. I believe Onage speaks first. And apparently the map is Manchuria. So I could see Onage just sticking to France here. I mean, it's always been a solid first pick, and it's a very solid French map with the livestock, the TP, and the treasures, and a decent amount of resources in your base as well. So it's kind of similar to Kamchatka, but with just a different TP spawn and more livestock, basically. But kind of a similar map for France here, so definitely able to stick to France if he wants to.
We certainly haven't seen much, or if at all, any water play on Manchuria. Any water play here has been some kind of like side, I'm going to go build a dock in Colonial, maybe build 8 fishing boats just to help my eco, but actually I'm focused on the lands play in the Fortress Age behind this. We do see lots of French picks, lots of German picks here. In the last series between Maito Daruga, the matchup was Aztec French. I believe we saw Aztec again from, maybe was it Mini Malt Stanley Winston was being picked as well. So it was Dutch French on this map. So lots of kind of standard Europeans, but looks like King Onage going for the Indian lock here. Pérez yet to change his civilizations, and India or Manchuria, in-base hunts, lots of yaks around, a couple of high-value wood treasures here, possible C options, and good aggressive units out on the field early on to combat any trade and post-play ATP on the 3 TP kind of middle trading route spawn. It feels like it's a alright pick, but nothing special.
Nothing special for India.
Okay, it feels like it's a nice 5 out of 10 pick. Like, if you lined up all the civs and thinking, right, what is the best civ for this map? India feels like it's a middle tier civ for this map.
I think it's one of the best picks, but probably not the best. And it kind of I would have liked India if he was counter picking maybe, because when you know what your opponent is gonna play, then you might just be able to play India yourself in a decent matchup, and that map is great for India. But the problem here is about picking India first, in my opinion, because it may be countered by Ottomans, for example. Although that map is so bad for Otto and so good for India that I don't know if Otto would really be a counter pick. But yeah, maybe India not being as solid a first pick as France would have been.
Yeah, no, you certainly make a good point. I was kind of edging on to the fact that maybe it's a middle civ, but it's also a safer pick in terms of not being able to be counter picked as hard as other civs picking first here. We do see a few Dutch civs coming out here, but I feel that going Dutch first is also a bit risky.
Oh yeah,
you open yourself up to the possibility of Russia, Aztec, Otto as well.
Dutch just feels to be a very bad tournament civ for some reason. I never feel like I want to play Dutch. If you play it first, you get countered by he can play Russia, and then you have to play better basically to win as Dutch against Russia, even though it's not a very bad matchup. He could go Euro, Germany. I mean, and if you counter pick yourself, well, it just doesn't feel like Dutch ever really counter picks anything. It's just good overall, but yeah, it's not a great tournament civ for sure. However, Dutch India should be a pretty close matchup, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like Dutch lack the simple botto strategy that other civs have. Russia could be 5 Cossack, 700 wood, 13 Strelets, 4 Cossack behind that. Otto, straight FF, Vincent Jan, 5 Falcons, which is for the previous game. Even Japan's with colonial consulate rush with the Konshan Yabushi Clubman, then sending 5 Ashes multiple times. Simple build orders, which are very, very strong and hard to deal with. Dutch, though, it feels like they don't have that kind of option. Have to play their opponents in a prolonged H2 game or semi-FF and then play out in the third age with a good eco, but they lack that real power play build order. Pérez looking to counter with Japan, and after watching Game 1 and how this matchup, Japan versus India, went, and how well Pérez managed to deal with what King Urge played, this is looking not great for King Urge, but King Urge on Manchuria has the axe, slightly better than India map than High Plains was.
Yeah, definitely. Although it's also good for Japan, as they also have 3 scouts, a bit slower than the elephants, which have 5 speed, but they do have the cherry orchard, so they can pick a lot of yaks. They also enjoy the wood treasures, so probably an equally good map for Japan and for India. Then again, there's also the stagecoach potential, especially if we have the small 2 TP line, then it's kind of easy for India to get a stagecoach in this matchup, so it could be something. Yeah, and we do have that spawn, because it might be too hard to control straight TPs as India against Japan, but 2 TPs in the back should be totally controllable for India. Need to check the hunts. I feel like maybe it's a bit further away for India.
It looks like both players have four nearby hunts, and then that hunt, and then the top 2 are neutral. So I'm happy with this map spawn. Otherwise, we could be here for days. Both players, though, importantly, have in their back corner hunt spawning. So safe extra food for both players if they choose to go for that as they start to run out of hunt in base. King Urge moving to the north side of the map.
I guess it's good enough. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Scout at 75 food. Also sees another 75 food. So double food treasure. There are wood treasures out on the map, but there's so much food in its local vicinity here for King Urge. Potential early 150 food here, which directly helps your age up time. You have to go for that, don't you?
I don't know. You also have to grab the yaks, and you kind of want to rush the middle no matter what on this map. Because now Japan is getting the yaks, although he's not too actively looking for them. He's first getting a 90 wood here, which is also very nice. But well, luckily for Onich, these 2 yaks spawn pretty much on his side of the map, so the cherry orchard did not find them, and he's going to be able to grab them for himself. And maybe...
It was very close to scouting that yak at the top side as well, so he could have almost so close had that 3 yak vision really early on before going for that wood treasure, but now going for that middle map play does scout a single yak as well, so even picking up 3 yaks as well for that early treasure, you know, it feels like it's been all right. I understand how it could have been really punished with Japan, the 2 monks and the cherry orchards picking up maybe 6 or 7 yaks for free.
Yeah. Japan is also mining gold. He's gonna get his food upgrade and just bought 100 wood, so he can actually build another shrine and get his food upgrade. So pretty good start for Japan. Might be a little bit slower, but probably worth it. One thing we have to mention here is this stable treasure in the middle of the map. This is very good for India. He can go for a forward Agra fort and then pick that up with some sepoys and just get a free stable, basically. So it's a great treasure for India on this map. Also, India getting another... Wait, no, that's his first wood treasure, actually. But getting a nice 85 wood. So he can probably stop chopping wood right now and still get to queue more views. If he gets to... Yeah.
Has a villain queue behind this. That 85 wood has given him enough wood for another vill behind this. Soon we'll have distributors to help out, but he's now starting to pull off villagers from the trees onto hunt. Sending 2 vills forward as well. A nice play in a tournament. It gives you opportunities to have multiple aggro fort placement possibilities, but looks like he's just kind of opting to place it in between these 2 native villages, the Shaolin and the Zen temple, and just waiting for the food to reach 800 food so he can place it down. But aging up with 2 vills here instead of the single 1 vill.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit faster. We do see 3 boats from Japan, which is pretty standard. And he does drop this Agra fort on top of that stable treasure, so he can pick it up at some point. What else can we say here? It was a coin start. We didn't mention it, but it doesn't really matter in this matchup. I think Bussives kind of enjoy their wood start as much, so it's probably fair no matter what if you get coin or food or wood. So we'll have to see what King Onage wants to do. Is he going to be aggressive like in game 1, or is he going to be more greedy with that stagecoach play or something?
I really don't know. I'm expecting somewhat of a... I don't think the Indian player here is going to be going full-on aggressive. Last game, he did have that early TP for a bit of shipment momentum. Doesn't have it this time, but you still go aggressive with 5 sepoys, 4 sours, but it's not like King Onage is going for the classic 10-10 fast age up here as the Indians will be aging up behind this. Pérez, though, really good with his ward play in the first game. Seems his defense, and at this super high level, I'm not too sure. Sepoys is going to be the winning game card. It's certainly good to send in a few occasions, but I'm not too sure we're doing too much damage. King Onage may even send foreign login first card here.
You're kind of lagging out. Your voice was cutting and it was just freezing in game, and it's freezing again now. I think you may have to leave.
Yeah, I can do that.
Unfortunately, it's looking pretty laggy.
Yeah, for some reason, I think it's just the connection between me and you. We've always had issues between the 2 of us, but every other single series I've casted so far, problem-free. So
yeah, it's unfortunate.
No idea about that. No idea.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, kind of sucks, but yeah, players are not happy about the lag. So I think, yeah. So I'm gonna keep solo casting then. I think.
Okay, I'll drop once we unpause the game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry, but that's unfortunate.
No worries.
But yeah.
I can chill out in the garden while watching this epic matchup, as well as watching the late games go at a later point as well. So I don't mind. I've certainly done enough casting myself, so I'm not exactly missing out. So I'll see you guys later point. Ciao for now.
Yep, see you. Thanks for co-casting. All right. A bit of a lag spike now, but should be better now that Harrison has resigned, hopefully. All right, so I'm gonna keep on solo casting for the remaining 2 games of this match. Probably will be casting as well next series at is it 19 GMT or something? 18 GMT. Japan working on that food treasure there. I'm gonna assume it's the lag is good enough now. All right, 2 sepoys coming forward, so he's indeed gonna work on that treasure. Wait, is it? Yeah, okay, a batch of 5 sepoys being trained, no sepoys being shipped yet, but he is now again shipping the sepoy. So he should probably go. I mean, that stable is not his priority now. He's gotta be pressuring these sepoys. Then again, the free stable means he could get a batch of Sowas at some point if he wants to. So it's really nice for him. I mean, he doesn't have to use the stable, but he may. And now Japan knows about the stable, so he will have to react and get some anti-cav, because you can't risk just dying to cav here. A few clubs being trained by Japan, few Yumis being trained as well. Gonna try to hit and run this sepoy rush. Only 3, no, actually 5 Yumis, so that should just be enough to defend this pressure here. 600 wood being shipped, so Japan surely getting away with a decent start, but also being forced to ship 5 musketeers himself, so definitely not the best for Japan, but he felt like he needed to. He probably didn't, but he wanted to play it safe and get these ashes. Another batch of Yumis as well. And behind this, India following instantly with the wood trickle. Obviously, he's got more experience because of these yaks, and he's gonna get another treasure. I don't know why this... There's a small graphic bug I've seen a few times already where you get your shipment before... yeah, it's just a small bug in the UI, but yeah, now he's got his shipment on the way anyway. So a really good shipment progression, almost 3 shipments back to back as India, even though India has less experience. I mean, they need more experience for their shipments. So this means that the follow-up from this after this rush is not too bad at all. Game sound feels pretty high. Maybe it's okay, actually. I guess should be fine. So but the defense just going down, not too much happening here. A bit unfortunate losing them. He will not be able to go for a stagecoach if he wants to. Like, with 600 wood now, I could have seen India just get 2 TP stagecoach, because it's exactly 600 wood, so could have been nice for him. Adding in some Gorkha and Sawar, which is the unit composition you want against pure infantry, basically. 2 Sawars going forward already, and the infantry just going back, so that's kind of a donation here. These guys are also kind of XP donators, like Olans, so you don't want to waste them like that. You gotta get more of them before you can go in. And every single cav unit could matter at this point. But I feel like there's enough Gorkhas to just challenge the Yumis here, and sepoys as well, so Japan is probably gonna have to pull back. Agra Fort still has a lot of HP at this point. Gonna try to go in again, but I feel like India will be able to defend that pressure. And Japan might want to maybe just age. He's getting 5 more Yumis, but if another batch of Sawas pop, or even just the 4 Sawa shipment, or the Consulate Hussars, it could be very tricky for India. But wasting again 2 Sawas here, 4 Sawas being wasted so far, so it might just make the difference between India being able to crush and not being able to crush, just giving an entire cav shipment basically for free, 4 Sawas. So that is a bit sloppy here by King Onich for sure. 5 more ashes being shipped here. So it looks like Japan already wants to break this forward position, but I don't know if he will be able to, even after getting 3 kills. The India mass looks solid enough to defend, and more Gorkhas popping as well. 300 export though, no for Sawas, so... but a batch of Sawas was trained, so probably just enough for India to hold the gain, and that is a lot of free kills here, so... pretty good trade by India here. And Japan is gonna pull back. He has shipped 4 vills as a follow-up. But India himself got the Ottoman consulate, and he has the export for the villages. He will probably get them soon, although he may want to keep the export for Minutemen. I feel like the right play here would have been to first get the 4 vills, and then keep your export so that you're maybe able to call the Minutemen at the Agra fort instead of the Hussars. But either way, he's not getting... Maybe he wants to get another batch of Hussars. It could be a good calf switch. I mean, getting 6 of these pretty strong Hussars on the board. As well as some more Sawa. And Sawa have been buffed. They're still the same crappy unit against Cav and against heavy infantry, but at least they do a little bit more damage against Yumis, for instance. So I guess if they do get to connect on top of the Yumis, they will do a lot of damage. And there isn't all that much anti-Cav here. Camel attack is very questionable. I feel like 4 Sawas would be better. He doesn't have all that many camos, but I guess this is a very strong card. You do get 30% more damage on your Cav. These guys, they do 52 damage to Yumis, so, and there's not all that much anti-Cav, so this might be a little bit tricky. A nice batch of Naginatas coming right at the right time. Ashes and clubs being in a good position here. Yumis kiting back. Good unit control by Pérez. King Onij might want to send his sepoys a little bit more forward, but yeah, regardless, there's just too much stuff for India here, too much cav, just not enough cav for Japan to tank, and that is a very good choke though. That is so painful to watch. Just this. And 2 Nagi is gonna go on top of the Gorkhas as well. More Gardeners indeed coming from the consulate, but that choke might just be what Pérez needs. It's so obnoxious for India now. He can't push in. He has so many units, but how do you push in that choke? It's kind of ridiculous, really. But regardless, he might have enough Gorkhas and enough cav to still be able to clean this up. But surely Pérez is just going to go on the other side of the choke now if he has to. So this may be just GG. I mean, there's kind of too many units left. Although, if there's a batch of Nagis popping now... Oh, some Rajputs coming in. What the hell? Alright, these guys have been buffed as well. They do a lot of damage against Cav now. 69 attack is a lot. So kind of a clutch Rajput pop. Saving the day. They could kill the Vils too. They have so much attack. Look at that. They're kind of great at killing Vils. Oh, and they got the Dravidian martial arts. That's why they have so much attack. And these Sawas, they have so much attack as well. And these Yumis are dead. They're dead. You can't save these guys now. And so many Vils have been going down. Surely we're gonna see Japan resign very soon. Even no more unit shipments for Japan, so he can't even... India can still... He shipped all his camo upgrades, but he can still ship 4 Sawas in the back of this. But Japan doesn't have any unit shipment, and he doesn't have any units, and literally every Vil is built in that town center. 33 Vils being built here. Not gathering anything. Couple ashes popping, but they're doing some work, but they're just not enough units. Let's see if India, maybe he does have the 4 Sawas in deck. I think this game is over. even more Sawas in the back, kind of AFK. So yeah, really good by India to just get that stable treasure here, just helping him so much to get this early Sawa switch, which worked out wonders. I mean, and Japan going for the 4 wheels, because what else do you want to ship at this point, right? I guess you could have shipped the daimyo, but the daimyo is so much slower than Sawas, they would just snare it and kill it. So the only realistic shipment here was the 4 wheels. And Japan trying his best to get a good trade here, and these Ashes are certainly trading really well with the wheels as well. But now Rajput's actually gonna beat Ashes. I mean, if Ashes are not able to hit and run, surely Rajput's kill them. And more wheels going down. Don't really know what to say about this game anymore. Most of the cav mass is going down, I guess, but still no villagers gathering for Pérez. He's only got his shrines on food and his boats, so he can still keep producing villagers probably, but still no units on the board. I mean, well, I guess he does have 3 Ashes, 2 Ashes and 1 Shinobi, and yeah, and when you see that remass coming in, the Tiger Claws and some more Rajputs and Sawas, you just resign. So a nice aggression here from, I mean, the Sepoy Rush basically didn't do anything, but he just had a good follow-up anyway because of all the yaks he's got, and was able to adapt into a more economic build order and just massing so much stuff really. And Japan maybe trying a bit too hard to break that forward position. He was just not able to, even after he got some good trades, killing a few Sawas for free. It never really felt like there was any window for Japan to break this. I think he should have aged. He kind of needed to just sit in base. He's got a very nice building position, building placement. I mean, you can see all these buildings doing a nice circle, and the coin mine as well. So he could have just sat there with the Yumis. We could see how good of a choke he had. So if only Japan did not get caught out of position here without enough anti-cav to kill the Sawas, he might have been just fine with Ashes and Yumis sitting in the choke here and then just age up. Surely would have been a safer play than pushing out to that Agra fort. We can see that fight went pretty well for India for sure. Got a really good trade. And just, you know, it didn't need much more for Japan to be okay. Again, if it was just in the choke, that fight would have probably been going really well for him. But getting cut out of position was what lost Pérez this game for sure. Pretty close resources as well until Japan gets idled. So this makes it 2-2 in this series. So we get a proper match point here. This is play all 5, so they would anyway have to play 5 games, but this might as well be a best of 5 now. We have the final game. Pérez is gonna have to counter pick. Sorry, to pick first. I mean, he's gonna have to lock. He cannot be Japan anymore. He's maybe able to play something more standard on this map. It's gonna be pretty hard for me to keep casting so much. I'm kind of hangover right now, and I don't have as much energy as I would usually have, but it should be alright. We'll just wait for King Onich to join. Onich might be able to play France again here. Or maybe Germany. I mean, this is a decent German map. You have only 1 coin mining base, which is the main problem about this map for Germany. But you do have a safe trading post. And it's a very open map, so you can raid from a lot of angles. So And if you do get to control the next coin mines here, you can see on the minimap that there is 3 coin mines pretty close to your base. As long as you have enough control on them, you're in a good position as Germany, because that's so much gold close to your base. So it kind of depends on the matchup. If you don't have the control, you kind of lose. Like, if you can't, let's say there's a blockhouse or a war hut on top of these 3 coin mines, and you can't get the control of it, then you kind of lost the game because you don't have any gold. But if you do get the control, it's actually great for Germany. So we'll have to see if King Onich goes Germany here. Surely also gonna depend. Surely gonna depend on what Pérez picks, because obviously King Onich will get to counter pick, and he may or may not want to go Germany. I'm talking about Germany because he's played them already. He won a game with them, and I know that King Onich is maybe a main German player. I think his 2 main civs are India and Germany. We can see he's already played India twice and Germany once, and I remember playing against him, and he would just like to play Germany quite often. And on this map, it's a pretty good matchup for Otto, for Germany against Otto. Definitely not a good Ottoman map. But Pérez may be feeling like, okay, Otto is not too good here, but then again, I've won on Kamchatka with Otto, so maybe I can just tower FF my way to the win again. And yeah, so we do see the German counter pick from King Onich that makes a lot of sense on this map. So yeah, Pérez has taken 2 wins in this series, and I believe the Mandarin Duck squad, the team of Pérez, needs only 2 more wins to qualify to the playoffs. So if Pérez can take 1 more game here, his team is in an absolute great spot. It's gonna become near impossible for NWC to qualify if Pérez wins 1 more. It means that if Pérez wins this game, it means that what is the next match again? I need to check. Sorry about that. King of Usman against Soldier. Yeah, so if Pérez wins the last game here, it means that Soldier would need to go 5-0 against King of Usman so that NWC would qualify. And Soldier is surely a good player, but not necessarily better than Usman. I think it should be a pretty close match, and going 5-0 would be quite a challenge here. So I think there's a lot of pressure here on King Onich to win this game, because even if he wins this game, it still means that that Soldier will need to go 4-1, which is hard enough, really. So really, let's hope for King Onich that he can win this one, because it's going to be a lot of pressure on Soldier next. Let's confirm this is a lock, because we have seen in the previous series Jerry Muno, I think, going Ottomans but not locking it. So Pérez confirms it's an Ottoman lock. King Onich gonna just counter it with Germany, and I think we're ready to go in the last game of this Play 05. Again, a game with a lot of impact on the next series. So it looks like Pérez is thinking, which might mean he's having some discussion with his teammates about how to play this matchup, maybe. Surely not the easiest matchup on this map, so you have to think through your plan. I don't know how Ottomans beat Germany without a stagecoach, honestly. I feel like it's a very decent matchup for Otto as soon as they can get to control a stagecoach. But on this map, having stagecoach is nearly impossible, and it's going to be very tough for Ottomans here. I legit don't know how you play it now without a stagecoach. I guess you have to try to go for an all-in Jan Haas push or all-in Jan Abus push in H2, or just Tower FF and hope Germany loses. But Tower FF is absolutely not how you want to play this matchup. So no matter what you do, it feels like Germany should have the proper answer. All Germany really needs to do here is to scout properly if it's going to be Jan Haas or Jan Abus or a Tower FF. But as long as Germany scouts and adapts, I don't see Ottoman winning. Then again, we've seen King Onage kind of just lose pretty badly to the Tower FF in the game 3 or something of this series. So we never know. Let's see what Pérez can do. Maybe he can surprise us and take the win here. Also kind of gonna depend on the crate start. Because if it's not a wood start, then Otto might still be able to take 2 TPs. He could still steal the German TP here. So that could be, even if you can't, yeah, it's not a wood start, which is absolutely huge, honestly. It can be an absolute game changer at this point, just having a wood start as Germany and taking that TP, because now if Ottoman is smart, he's going to take his TP and then sneak his explorer to take the second TP, and I'm quite sure Germany is not able to do anything about it. So it means Germany is going to have to play without a trading post, so he's going to have to open maybe pike or something and crossbow pike and get the TP down as soon as he can and take it for himself. But after all, that might not be too bad for Otto here if Germany doesn't have the ability to grab a TP. Still, coin start means Germany could get a market, which is nice, but decides to go for a house, which is questionable. Very questionable, but maybe he just wants to get the quick age up in. It's even more questionable because on this map you always get some small coin and wood treasures, or at least one of them, basically always. I mean, like, there you go, here's an 80 wood, here's some coin. So, you know, you kind of want to go for a market no matter what he has, Germany. That monkey is going to be real nice for him to get that 80 wood. Meanwhile, Ottoman is getting a sort of useless treasure. I don't think getting 45 coin is a priority. I think his priority should be to scout the map and find something like that. Imagine he would not have gone for 45 coin here. Surely he would have seen that wood, maybe stolen it. So already, in my opinion, a mistake by Ottoman to go for that coin. Oh, there was even a coin treasure in the German base. He really could have gone for a market here. So I reckon Pérez is gonna go for 8 tower FF because it's what everyone does literally every game as Ottoman nowadays. For whatever reason, people just seem to forget about every strategy that Ottoman can do besides tower FF. So I guess it's safe to assume he will go for tower FF. But really, even if he goes for tower FF, he could shop for a second TP, especially because he's got so much coin already. He's got the wood. I mean, he's got 80 wood, so I really wish he's not gonna do it. I know he's not, because everyone just goes for 8 tower FF and they don't even shop for a second TP. I don't know why, because you can shop for a second TP and still age up in time, especially if you have that kind of coin in the bank. But nah, he's not gonna do it. Imagine just, he would be chopping wood now. He would be almost at 200 wood and he could just build a TP here. And then what does Germany do? He's gotta make like 5 pikes to take it down, and then Ottoman is up to H3, so you don't really want to be making pikes. So maybe he would just go for no TPFF, but that's also not good as Germany. Just imagine how much better it would be for Ottoman if they could have taken the TP. But it's not happening, so Germany will get his trading post, and now it becomes, instead of maybe Ottoman favored because Germany would not have a TP, it instantly becomes German favored just because of that. So in my opinion, this is already a massive mistake by Pérez not taking that second TP. But let's move on and start talking about other stuff. We do see King Onage herding nicely 3 Huns towards his base, adding a market now, certainly going to be more painful for him to get that market upgrades, these market upgrades coming in, because he did not get a market in H1. So he has to build a TP and get his market upgrades, which is kind of tough as Germany. We do see the extremely surprising tower age up here. The most refreshing and the highest IQ strat in the game, the Ottoman 1 TP tower FF. Just make Jans, sheep Falks, sheep Hus, or Mams, whatever, and you know. The tower is gonna go on top of these 3 coin mines, so back to what I was talking about before the game. Ottoman is gonna look to control these coin mines here. Germany does have a very nice age of time because of, you know, not getting the market in H1, so he doesn't have any idle time, but very few resources in the bank because he had to research placer mines and hunting dogs and build a trading post. Now also gonna go for steel traps and adding 2 houses, so we might see a 300, a 3 set of wagon 700 gold naked FF, but then again he's still chopping wood, so it might also be a barracks. And a stable is and he's building it with a bill, which is quite slow compared to a settler wagon. And I don't know what you do with the stable against Otto. I mean, is he really gonna... Maybe it's just a fake stable. Maybe that's why he's building it with the bill. Maybe he doesn't plan on training any Uhlans. Yeah, he's not mining gold. There's no way you're making Uhlans if you're not mining gold, right? So it's a fake, not even a fake stable, but he just got the stable for later. He's got it up, and you know he will make war wagons from it, which is surely fine against Ottomans. But I don't think he's planning to build any Uhlans in H2, so that's okay. For a second, I was a bit worried about that stable start, but it's not an actual stable start, so it's totally fine. Also picking... Oh, that is unfortunate. This field just punching the hunt away. Not moving too much, fortunately for him, but did lose 1 Vil from 2 Uhlans here, so surely a good pick for Germany here. Not gonna pick any more Vils, but forcing a little bit of idle time. And we do see 700 gold coming in, I think. He might want to train a couple Uhlans because he needs to spend his resources. 3 settler wagons, 700 gold is kind of a bad build though if you don't start with the trading post, because you get your 700 gold so late. Look at these resources. You might as well go for 700 wood and just chop less wood and just age at the same time, really. If you don't build a stable, you don't need to chop that much wood in H2, so you can just FF with 700 wood and probably be up at roughly the same time, and it's probably just superior because then you have the wood. And now he doesn't have the wood, so he might want to tech Gangsa instead of Vil HP. Oh, Abe is gonna age up. Maybe he just wants to be ready to face these war wagons, and he doesn't want to get the 4 Hesses in. But surely a... Not as good an age up as 4 Hussars in terms of resources, and 4 Hussars would have been able now to idle Germany. So I really think 4 Hussars would have been the correct age up choice here. But it's by no means terrible. Avis guns are very strong units. But they will get sniped by TC Fire now, maybe. Forcing a bit of idle time. 8 Jan shipment. Taking veterancy. Very standard stuff so far. Germany's up. He's gonna probably open with 8 skirms or 3 war wagons. Only got a shipment now though, because like I said, when you don't start with a TP, well, you just don't really have the XP for this build. You age late and you don't have the XP for a shipment in H3. Very unfortunate for Germany here. I don't know how he's gonna hold that push. I guess when one Vil going down as well. But I guess once he gets 8 skirms in and some war wagons, he will be okay. Ottoman coming into idle again. Another bill gonna go down, and just, you know, no units for Germany. Such an unfortunate shipment progression. Especially because Germany has less XP now. I mean, they need more XP for their shipments on this last patch. Which means that this kind of build is not really viable anymore, because you see how late he gets 8 skirms. 844, that is not what you want. 2 falconets coming in position, not getting a volley, fortunately for Germany. Not even losing Vils here, so not too bad. He can go on that hunt instead. But surely Germany is going to need more war wagons now to just defend that pressure. Might have wanted to open with 3 war wagons precisely for that reason, because if you don't, then you have no way to really deal with the falconets. He doesn't have enough war wagons to deal with them. He does have a few Ulans, which might be able to, you know, flank, but they probably should not be able to if Ottoman plays well. The Ulans are still useful because they can sort of force Ottoman to focus the Ulans down while your war wagons are shooting at the falconets, but Ulans die pretty quickly, so they are not going to be too useful. Another batch of 2 war wagons for Germany. It's not enough. He needs more units. But he's just getting housed, and looking so tough for Germany. Minutemen being called. I think it's the go time for Germany now. He's gonna get 3 war wagons, maybe. No, 3 war wagons not shipped. Why is he calling Minutemen now? But he's getting 1 falconet down, but the falconets did get some good volleys, and 1 falconet for Minutemen and 1 war wagon and like 3 skirms, let's say. That was a good trade for Ottomans for sure. I wish Germany would have waited until he gets his 3 war wagon shipment, which is surely gonna be the next. Ulan's trying to connect. They're just gonna die. Gonna get 1 swing on that Falk, which is not very good. And now we're in the situation I was talking about. Look at this Ottoman Explorer just keeping that mine in check here. Germany gonna try to sneak some Vils on that coin mine, but they're gonna be spotted instantly. And Ottoman has just so much mass, he's surely gonna be able to pressure that location. Again, if Germany would have gone for 700 wood, I can assure you he would have been in a much better spot. He would have got so much better batches of war wagons instead of like 2 and 2 war wagons. He might have got like 5 war wagons out and then 3 or 4 or something. He could have got so many more units. That falconet is gonna go down though, but at what cost? So many Ulans dying again. Couple war wagons getting to low HP. Only 4 skirmishers left, but look at that. Germany gathering for the Jaegers. And the TC location on top of these coin mines. Definitely a good TC location, but 1k wood may not be what you want as Ottomans now. I mean, if he wants to deny the coin, don't do it with a TC, do it with units. He could deny that coin mine now if he had any shipment, any unit shipment. Even 5 Abus guns would be enough to control these coin mines. Or maybe 1k gold in MAMs next, or something like that. But going for the TCs, going for the slow play, it might pay off. It might be enough to still control the coin mines. After all, Germany does not have too many units on the field just yet. He will get Jaegers anytime now. What? I don't understand. Why is Germany stacking so much coin but not shipping Jaegers? Okay, we'll see. I am... Oh, finally coming in. Once he gets Jaegers and more war wagons, it's gonna be tough for Ottoman to deal with this unit composition. But he is adding an artillery foundry, which is what he needs. Hopefully for Abus guns, not for falconets, because it's just bad. But Abus would be great. But, like everyone does at the moment, he's gonna go for the bad unit composition, aka Jan Falconets. And if Germany identifies that, he can just get a couple Culverins and be totally okay here. And then you're left, if Germany gets Culverins, Ottoman is left with just Jans. And no Falks, no nothing, no Apus. And how do you beat Jaegers with just Jans? So, once these Falconets get spotted, Germany just needs to make Culverins and then he's fine. The question is he going to have the time to make Culverins? And that's not granted. But yeah, Jaeger's coming on the field. A very strong unit shipment for sure. Falconet's gonna be spotted. So Germany can, you know, try to hit and run his way out of here. Just keep poking with war wagons maybe. Don't do that, for sure. Don't go in with Jaegers against Falks. And, you know, just keep poking around with his war wagons and stuff. Just buy enough time until you get culverins. He's not adding an artillery foundry though, which is a problem for him. He's stacking so much gold again. He could get culverins out if only he had a foundry, but he needs to buy wood or just chop wood or something. I don't think he might be able to kill 2 falconets with his war wagons. But what if more falconets come? Then there's no way you can keep sniping falcons with war wagons. There's absolutely no way. The artillery foundry for Germany is the win condition here. It's that simple. So let's hope for King Onich that he's gonna get it. Then again, that's a lot of war wagons, and there's 2 falconets only on the field for now, and they're not protected. Not the best control by Pérez. 1 falconet going down, not for free. He's gonna kill maybe 2 war wagons, 1 war wagon, but also Germany picking up a few Jans, so surely a good trade for Germany. Although every shot matters so much. Jaegers, they don't take. Oh man, Jaegers kind of suck against falconets because they get focused down, you know, like they are high HP, but they still die to one shot of falconet, and they have range resist, which doesn't matter against falcons. So each volley matters so much. Already 3 Jaegers down, and so many of them are low HP. So at the end of the day, a pretty good trade for Otto maybe, just because of these last 2 volleys, just turned a bad trade into a good trade for Ottomans, I think. And if he gets more falcons, it's gonna be tough for Germany, because again, he does not have a foundry. But maybe if he can get Cav combat, because Ottoman does have Jan combat. Oh, no, that falconet is gonna leave. If he gets Cav combat and more war wagons, he might be able to just trade really well. Also keep in mind, Germany has the mobility. He's gonna get some free Ulans. He's gonna he's got war wagons, but oh, 5 Spahis. I don't know how good 5 Spahis is now against more war wagons, but where are they? Imagine a 5 Spahi right here, holy shit, that would be huge. Falconet here. Oh, black, oh no, don't go Black Riders. War wagons have more range. You need the range here to kill the Falks and to hit and run the Jans. Black Riders is an absolute garbage shipment right now. He could have gone for Cav combat and more war wagons instead, or just 7 skirms or anything really, but not Black Riders. That's not what you want, and that is gonna hurt. This might just, I don't know. Germany still has so much more mass than Otto, and he's denying that foundry pretty much. But that raid, that is gonna be absolutely massive. Oh man. But now Germany could send his Black Riders. I mean, he's got them at least. So, you know, he could just split them away and just send Black Riders. Surely he could kill the Spahis, at least some of them, by just sending his Black Riders back. Oh man. This is not good. Oh no, all these Cav getting wrecked by the Jans here. Not even gonna kill the Falconet. What a waste of units, Jesus Christ. And Ottoman wins now. Spahi's gonna come. He's raiding so many views. And I think this is terrible for more Falconets. Everything gonna get, yeah, GG. Ottoman wins from here. He's also got Jan combat, so they perform really well right now in this kind of fight. And the entire German army has died. Half his eco, or maybe not half, but a large part of his eco has died. And this spells a GG, and I think this is a throw by Germany here. I mean, he was in a good position, really. All he needed to do was micro and get calls out, and he wins. But he just took a terrible fight and got raided pretty badly. Maybe worth building a tower here on that 5k gold mine. Towers are pretty good for Germany too, because you can ship units in there, and obviously your unit shipments are pretty strong. So sometimes being able to ship your units in a forward tower as Germany can be pretty good, and it's also obviously a safe spot for your villas to gather. And yeah, so that makes it 3-2 for King Onage. So yeah, man, Soldier gonna have to play like real well. He's gonna have to 5-0 Osman if he wants to go to the playoffs. The odds of that happening are very low, but it's gonna be a challenge for sure. We have to see. So yeah, you can see Germany having so much more stuff, but just not microing. And again, Black Raiders being the wrong unit because they can't hit and run Jans, unlike War Wagons, and they can't snipe Falconets either. So just a useless unit, kind of. And that is part of the reason why he's lost that fight. But overall, it was just a matter of poor micro here by King Onage, which is unfortunate for him. Just he was in a good spot, and then he just lost all his vills and all his units, and GG.